8, 17, 25 with bloodshot eyes. I could still sleep on most nights. I could still, but sometimes don't know, I don't know if anything's gonna get better, if anything's gonna get better yet, if anything's gonna get better yet, if anything's gonna, if anything's gonna. 8, 17, 25, my hands feel tied. What's the routine? Clarified, leave behind the things that troubled my cluttered mind. My cluttered mind. 8, 17, 25, it's about time to say goodbye. Detoxify my only life. I will not just get by, just get by, just get by, just get by. Don't know, I don't know if anything's gonna get better, if anything's gonna get better yet, if anything's gonna get better yet, if anything's gonna, if anything's gonna get better, if anything's gonna get better yet, if anything's gonna get better yet, if anything's gonna, I've been learning that it's where I set my eyes. It will tell how this pain can shape and give life. I've been holding on so tight, but I know over time, yes I know, yes I know that everything's gonna get better, yep. Everything's gonna get better, yep. Everything's gonna, everything's gonna get better. Everything's gonna get better, yep. Everything's gonna get better, yep. Everything's gonna, everything's gonna.
Hello. You are listening to Better Yet by James Spade. Better Yet by James Spade. So, welcome to the Better Man Show, where I document my journey on becoming a better person. It looks like the audio is a bit hot. Let me try and bring it down a little bit. Hopefully that's better. Still a bit hot. Not sure why. I'll have to replay and listen to the replay. So hi, I'm BK, and if you're joining me and we are friends, that shouldn't surprise you. But if you're not friends, wherever I am popping up on your radar, please just add me as a friend. Don't be a stranger. I'm happy to add you as a friend. So you were listening to a song called Better Yet, and happy winter solstice. Those of us who celebrate this festival in Asia is called Dongzhi, right? Or in Hokkien it's called Tang Zui, which marks the seasons going into the start of winter, I think, right? I think. So today I wish one of my China friends happy winter solstice, and she said, "You guys celebrate that too?" I said, "I think so." When I'm back at home, today my mom would be making those sweet dumplings or sweet glutinous rice balls. And unfortunately not at home, so I don't get to savor it today, right? But those of you who have, I hope you had a good time gathering with family, because typically it's a day where you gather with family. So tonight a lot of people are having dinners, right, with family members. So hope and of course we wish everybody happy winter solstice. And just like the song, that we'll have a better 2021, right? So we have been talking about a lot of because it's the last few days of the year, right? So we're doing a lot of planning. So today I kind of thought that, I'll just get this first. We are in day 63 of a 100-day live stream challenge. So today somebody actually told me that she recommended a friend to watch my live stream. And this person said, hey, the guy is dancing in the show. And yeah, it's just something I picked up from another live streamer, and she does this dance behind the scenes. It's kind of just to get the energy going and the flow going, right? And I'm not a dancer by any stretch, trust me. And that's why when you see that opening segment where I kind of it's called pre-show role, right? So it is also not clear like this, right? It is behind us a bit of a curtain, so to speak, so that it kind of just helps me get the energy up and going before we start the show, right? But at the same time, it's not 100% revealing, right? So that's what a lot of people do for live stream. So that could be something you can do if you ever want to do something like that. So, but it's interesting because of doing this challenge, then a friend was able to refer another friend to watch this show, and then she was giving some interesting comments as well, right? So today's show, I'm going to talk about something called the principle of Hamlet was wrong, right? Because as we move towards the end of 2020, and then we start, so the past few days we've been talking about goal setting, planning, things that may hold you back. So in fact, today I had two very interesting conversations with a group of friends, and just happened to come across this, right? So as we move towards 2021, right? And whatever you're thinking of doing, like let's say for example this live stream, or this kind of live stream, I can honestly tell you, I can understand your fears or worries, because every single day I kind of have to think about, okay, what am I going to talk about today, right? Because obviously the format of the show is every day, right? It's a 100-day challenge. So every single day I kind of have to come out with content ideas. And then in the earlier stream, I also talked about you can also reuse some of the content. You don't have to be original content every single day, and you don't have to be original content in the first place, right? So many of the things I'm sharing are not original content. It's not like I created the ideas from fresh. Like it's all 100% original. No, doesn't have to be. Many times I'm sharing the things that I'm learning, because like this is the Better Man show, right? This is about me becoming a better person. I'm documenting my journey, things I'm learning, things I've gone through the day, or things that I've encountered with when I help my team and stuff like that. So that exactly the content that you could use for that. So I understand 100% if you have the same kind of concern, because I have it in fact, I can tell you sometimes, some days, until the very last minute before I hit live, I'm still not 100% like, okay, what am I going to talk about today, right? So it can be a little bit stressful, but it also very fun, right? So some days until the very minute I hit live, and even after I hit live, and because thankfully there's a pre-show reel, you have a bit of time to be able to like make some adjustments, add a bit of the graphics, adjust the music, and so on, right? Precisely because you have a couple more minutes in front with the pre-show reel, right? And sometimes I've just turned it on, and I've not set up everything here. Like I've not turned on the air conditioning. Just now it was a little bit warm, so during the pre-show I could turn on the air conditioning. I could adjust some of the settings, right? So, but don't let it stop you, right? Don't let it stop you. So content shouldn't be the thing that stops you. And so far, for 63 days, I have not let it stop me. I know there are some days that I really don't know what I'm going to talk about as well, right? But then because of this commitment to doing a 100-day live stream, I just go on, and ideas do come along, right? And sometimes it has to be like that. But of course, being prepared is obviously a good thing, right? but sometimes, some days it has to be like that. So give yourself some slack. And because it's a live stream, oftentimes things will go wrong, just like yesterday, right? Because I didn't restart the machine before I started the live stream, there was a few things that was going wrong. Like today, I think it's a lot better because I remembered to do that. And also, like the sound wasn't working and all those things. So it's very normal and natural. And in fact, people do expect it. So if you are thinking about doing a live stream, just and you need some help and resources, just hit me up, right? So don't let that stop you if you're thinking of that for 2021. And I kind of talk about it a little bit, that this might be an area of focus that you want to look at. I'm definitely doing more of it in 2021, right? Now then, so we are talking about 2021. We are kind of trying to create our future. And what is this concept of Hamlet was wrong? And this came about as a part of a discussion with friends today about. So we are obviously trying to go set goals or plan for 2021, right? And I came across an article by Malcolm Gladwell. He's one of my favorite authors as well. And he kind of, when he was asked during a podcast interview by somebody, right, asking him, so what are some of the things that hold people back from really going for the things they want to achieve in life, or what stops people from overthinking? And he said those three very unusual words, which is the principle of Hamlet was wrong. So Hamlet is a classic Shakespearean play, right? And he's the classic example of someone who overthinks, overplans, and because of that overthinking and overplanning, it caused him eventually to lose his life, right? So it is actually what we have to focus on for 2021. So whatever we are planning for ourselves, just remember this thing. Don't worry about the future. Don't worry about what might or might not happen, because we have absolutely no control over the future. And Hamlet's mistake was allowing the uncertainty of the future to shackle him and hold him back, right? Instead, Malcolm Gladwell was sharing, and he, I think, got inspired by a Professor Hersman, who shared this principle with him, right? Or who has this principle. He said that we should actually approach it from the other angle, which is the fact that the future is uncertain should free us and not shackle us. The fact that we have absolutely no control over the future should be very freeing, because then we know that it is a situation of endless possibilities, right? It is a situation of endless possibilities. So Hamlet was wrong by his over planning, overthinking, and so on. So same thing for a lot of us. In fact, if I go back in over 63 days, and I can honestly tell you that this should have been more than 63 days if I had started day one when I had this idea of doing this 100-day live stream challenge. This should have been easily 70, 80 days, right? So imagine that's how much of overthinking that I had done, right? You think about, okay, no content. What am I going to talk about? What's my focus? What's my niche? What's my audience? And all those things, until it came a point in time where I kind of said that, let's just do it. So that was day one, right? So just hitting live and going live. And I mentioned before many times, day one is often not the hardest day. Day two is the hardest day, right? Because after you hit live on day one, you've committed yourself. And then day two, you kind of like, you're scolding yourself. Why did I commit to this? But what I'm trying to say here is that day 63 would likely have been day 70 something or 80 something if I had not been Hamlet, right? By overthinking and overplanning and worrying about a lot of other things. So that is the principle that we should probably embrace as we look towards 2021, right? And hopefully I've been trying to to find songs that kind of is signifying hopefulness for 2021, right? So like this today's song was Better Yet. Yesterday was I Love the Fight, right? And so on. So it is hopefully it's a bit of encouragement for all of us. In fact, it's an encouragement for myself as well, right? That we can hope for a better 2021, right? I know it's not the best of times right now, but that's the whole idea. And I really like what Malcolm Gladwell was saying, right? The fact that the future is unknown, it should be liberating, it should be freeing for all of us, right? Which then brings me to another discussion that I had with friends, which is if you are trying to create your future 2021 and beyond, right? I always find that it's very interesting when we often get things wrong, right? We often get things wrong. So for example, they studied how peak performers, billionaires, amazing sports stars, and so on, how they are able to achieve or arrive at the level of their achievement, right? We know that the scientific study shows that most of us only use like 5 to 10% of our brain. So sometimes we think that these people who are so successful in their arenas, right? Whether they are business people, scientists, and so on, it's because they are able to tap into maybe a higher amount, a larger percentage of the brain, right? In fact, we are wrong, right? In fact, these people are able to achieve peak performance precisely because they have achieved something called hyperfocus, right? That means they use a very, very narrow and focused area of their brain and they go into something called flow, right? If you ever play sports, you might be able to appreciate this a little bit easier. So I remember the days when I used to play competitive sports in school last time. There are days when you are in the arena. So I was in judo, right? So I was on the mat and the crowd is cheering. There's a lot of noise, but you are facing your opponent. But what is interesting is that in that very moment in time, you are so focused on the actual match itself, right? Sometimes you cannot even hear the sound of the crowd at all, right? It is totally blocked away, right? And you are in a state of hyper focus and what they describe as being in the flow. And for you, perhaps you may have experienced certain days when you are so focused on your task at hand that time flies by, a few hours fly by, and don't even realize that it has been a few hours when you're so focused and so engrossed in something that you were doing, right? So that is called hyperfocus. Now, how do you balance these two ideas together? Because and this was taught to me by one of my good friends, also one of my mentors, right? The problem is when you are trying to create your future, interestingly, you need to be focused on the now. And hyper-focus is about focusing on the now. And Hamlet was wrong principle is also about focusing on the now, right? But oftentimes what we do is that we make two mistakes. One mistake is we think about we are shackled by the mistakes that we have made in the past. Now this is something I struggle with as well because I have made mistakes in my past, right? And then you are shackled by those mistakes. You keep thinking about the things you have done wrong, or you have made mistakes, or you have messed up, or you have screwed up, right? And that actually locks you into the past. Now, if you are locked to the past, you cannot create a future, right? You cannot create something new because it's kind of like you imagine you are in chains, you're locked to the past, right? And that's what we normally do. And that's what a lot of us will do. And I am struggling with that myself too, right? Now, then the other mistake that we make is we become like Hamlet and we worry about the future. We worry about an uncertain future that has not yet happened. And then we are stuck there, right? So to create your future, to have a very fruitful, abundant, successful, um, um, uh, achievement based 2021 and beyond, right? We need to we need to understand this part, which is we need to be in the now, because in being in the now and forgetting and not being shackled by the past or not being worried about the future, it is the only time that you can create a future, right? It is the only time you can create a future. So today just happened to be, um, like I said, the universe kind of bring things to you in batches, right? And it happened to be about the same topic. So I hope this can open up your creative juices, right? So whether is it whatever you're planning for 2021, hopefully some of these things that I've just shared can help you, because I'm also trying to do this myself. And one of the best ways to be in the now is actually meditation, right? And I've kind of mentioned it before in other episodes that this is something that I'm trying to get myself into. My brain goes at a 100 miles an hour and or even more. I think that's why meditation sometimes is a challenge for me. So I thank my friend. Also, he was a guest speaker on my show earlier on. David was just sent us a very interesting recording for meditation. I can ask him whether he's open to sharing it with you as well. So if you do want some of these resources and some of the articles that I've referenced today in the show, please do hit me up, leave a comment or private message me, or any way you want to connect with me. I'm happy to share them with you, right? So remember this, Hamlet was wrong. The fact that the future is unknown is liberating, right? And focus on the now, be hyper focused, be in the flow, get in the flow, and we can create any kind of future we want for 2021 and beyond, right? So happy winter solstice. The night is still young. If you're still out with family and friends, if you're watching this on a recording, I hope you had a good time. We are fast approaching Christmas, right? We are fast approaching Christmas. Probably one of the my favorite times of the year as well, right? Don't let whatever has happened to this year stop you. And like what we said, we only have the seed and the soil, the sun and the sunshine and the rain, and the seasons and the miracle of life. So happy Monday. This week is probably a very low key, non-working week for many people, right? So thank you for joining me still, right? I will see you tomorrow.